Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Bakery. This is the week 11 edition. My name is Jason O, and I'm joined always by Tribe. Tribe, how we doing today?
I'm good, bro. Just had a busy day. Had a meet and greet with admissions people from this private school for my oldest daughter who's going into high school next year. Then was doing some loading and drop off of donation supplies for hurricane relief in Jamaica. Um, where I live at, we have a really large Jamaican population. It's like the second highest Jamaican population, like outside of Brooklyn. Um, So doing some volunteer work with that, and then just running around doing errands today. I took the day off of work to get some stuff done. So now just relaxing, diving into this NFL slate, grinding this 3 game NBA slate, hoping I don't get ruined by some random like 3K 60 point fantasy outburst.
I hear that. Sounds like a full day too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucking sweating AD Mitchell right now. Just Justin Fields as while you were talking, just had him open for like a 20-yard
I was just gonna ask, has
throw.
Justin Fields completed a forward pass today?
Yeah, he's got a
Okay.
couple, and he did put one pretty on the money to Mitchell for like a 40-yard catch, and Mitchell dropped it. And this one, Mitchell beat the man coverage, and he just threw it two outside, so he had to come back to it. So he did like this whole twisting thing and
Yeah, yeah.
dropped it. But yeah, no, Mitchell should have had a 40-yard catch before. That would have separated me a lot. But no,
I
I
heard
hear
we have
you.
people out here fading Travion Henderson.
Yeah, they're fading him. One of my friends who's he will not be named because he is a subscriber, but he's afraid to come into the Discord. I get it because that is where sharks swim, so that's okay. But yeah, all day long, we kind of go back and forth a little bit, and we do this every Monday and Thursday, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna like fade Travion, and I said, yeah, Travion, you could look to fade him because Jennings is, if he plays, like maybe they split the work a little bit more. I said, but honestly, if he projects too well, like I'm just going to play him with May. I'm just not going to captain him. And yeah, I did that, and I have 55% of him in flex, so I don't mind that. My friend is 30, and he's texted me about 15 times since this game started, saying he hates me. So that's where we're at.
Oh,
Uh,
also like, yo, we gotta shout you out. Congrats, right? For those watching, if you didn't know, Jason O had a decent, more than decent takedown on what was that, Monday night showdown?
yeah, Monday Night
Yeah.
Showdown. Thanks, brother. Thank you. I
What was that, 20K win or something?
22-5.
My bad if you don't want people pocket watching.
No. I want them to. I want them to. Tell them to hit. Tell them to hit me up. I can afford protection right now. But on a serious note, no, it was awesome, man. And it's just a testament to like everything we do here at the site, how hard we work. And yeah, it's just one of those things, man. Like every lineup I played, I literally entered it knowing like, hey, I'm probably gonna light money on fire. This is not what I think is gonna happen. But that's not what DFS is about. It's not about predicting outcomes. It's about playing the probabilities.
What was the winning lineup?
Oh,
I
sure.
don't even know that I saw it.
I'll pull it up really quick too.
Yeah.
So let me just share the screen over here. Just pull that up. Hold on one second. I had to get past my NBA blunder lineups from the other night. Holy, that was really bad last night if you played NBA.
Oh, with
Um,
Paul Reed dropping like 60 fantasy points at 3.9K.
oh,
Jesus
dude, I
Christ.
had a lineup with him, Jenkins. I hit the CPJ game, but I decided to think Kyle Kuzma was good at basketball, and that did
Oh,
not work out.
also, this is an NFL show, but I will shout out my boy Lucky. Well, I think I finally got convinced to join the Discord, but he banked 100K last night in the
Jeez,
NBA.
man. Putting me to shame on my own show, Tribe. God damn. But no, I'm just
I
kidding. That's
mean,
awesome. If you
you're also not entering the high dollar stuff
Oh
either.
yeah, if you won 100K on a slate like last night, you are an above average DFS player. Let's put it that way. With all that value too. But no, so this was the lineup. I happened to do something pretty funny though, Tribe. I had 45% of Josh Wiley. I just said to myself, Musgrave, like they never really wanted to let this guy be a pass catcher. The other guy
Hmm.
stinks. And I just said to myself, I'm going to play this guy. And then my thought process was, I'm going to lean on Josh Jacobs. I'm going to lean on Jalen Hurts. I'm going to pick a pass catcher in everyone. And I'm going to rotate any play in like that 3 to 4K range. That's really what was my strategy. and I happened to get lucky here. I was sweating bullets though, because as you see in the third place here, I won by 2/10 of a point, literally. So I was shitting bricks, dude. I was in bed. My fiance was reading her book because she's a little.
That's great stuff.
And I leaned over to her. I said, "Hey, I think I have a chance at something." She's like, "Oh my god!" And I showed her my phone. She's like, "How much time's left?" I said, 2 minutes. She goes, "That's so much time," and I like almost lost it on her. I was like, "No, it's fucking not. Stop talking." And she's like, what do you need to win? I was like, 2 first downs. She's like, but wouldn't that bump you out? I said, shut up. No, I need 2 first downs. I need the game to win. And I was just like hoping Jalen Hurts didn't have to kneel. But yeah, I lucked out. It was really, really good. And a funny thing is I was actually toying with this lineup that won and another one of mine that didn't even cash at all. And I said, I'm going to play one in the $20 just in case. And then I ran out of time and the lineup locked and I couldn't enter anything.
Yeah.
I would have won like 87.5 in that one if I would have played that
one.
Yeah, crazy. The only one who would have beat me was Need Lunch Money. But yeah, so it was a good day.
Shout out to Need Lunch Money. They be racking up too.
Yeah. Lunch Money is sharp. Me and Ryan Kings were talking about him, dude. He's for sure just one of the sharpest players in the space, and especially with Showdown, he's sick. But it's good because now I got more bankroll to play with. I like playing in the higher dollar, like kind of.
You know what you got to do, right?
What's up?
You got to throw like at least 3 shots in that 555 millimaker.
I mean, depending how the showdown goes, yeah, I'm in. If I happen to do something well on the showdown, I'm for sure going to do that. Either that, or I'm definitely going to play maybe some Wildcat light ups. I'll play the 150 power sweep. But yeah, speaking of this week, how did you do last week too on the main slate? Sorry,
man, I had no H-hand, so like it was a no H-hand, no cash type of. Well, not. Let me take that back. It wasn't a no H-hand. It was a no H-hand, no bank. I ended up like profitable, but no H-hand, no chance of bank. So it was as simple as that. I actually liked a lot of where I ended up. I had a lot of Travion Henderson, Tez Johnson, mini stacks. Talked about this on the recap video, but like that. But it was just just alternating some of the spend ups. I did not think that Puka and CMC, little game stack action there, mini game stack would be what would bury me. But when you play CMC and then you got Achane and Gibbs, who are the pivots off of him just going absolutely nuclear, and then JSN doing JSN things.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, man. I hear you with that. I kind of thought I was dead in the water when JSN caught that touchdown on that first drive. I said, well, that kind of slate I put in the Discord. I'm like, man, they tried to bracket him and it just didn't work. I was like, I'm so cooked. And I'm with you, man. I actually had a lineup in the $3.20 max. I was kind of on Davis Mills a little bit. I was on Davis Mills before it was cool. And I happened to hit the nut stack. I had the bring back with Parker Washington. And then to end my lineup, I had Jamison Williams, I had Christian McCaffrey, and I had Puka Nacua. And I said to myself, if this little mini stack gets there, I'm going to go nuts. And only Jamison hit, the rest didn't.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But that's one of those things. You're
kind of locked into it too because of how cheap it is. Like you're locked in at that point.
Right, but also I'm not going to be mad. I'm not beating myself up because I played Puka Nacua and CMC and they didn't get. I won't even say they didn't get there. Like they had, like Puka, right? Puka probably had what I would consider like a floor-ish game for him, and it was still 17 fantasy points.
Yeah, he didn't kill you. He just didn't win you anything either. Yeah. And it's tough too, man. I think he's shaving points. He was so heavily involved and then didn't get really a target in the second half.
Yeah.
Pretty insane.
Oh, that was what killed me though. That was the other thing. I had a lot of Darius Slayton, and as soon as Dart went out, like the offense just died. That was the other thing.
Dude, that was nuts.
That was brutal.
I'm with you. I had a lot of him too. In my small field stuff, I built around Wandale as a piece, and Wandale when he was like 6 for 50, I was like, this is great. Like, just keep feeding him. And yeah, Dart got hurt, and now we get the Jameis experience, which I don't know about you. I am tickled by. Pause. I am so pumped for this. But anyway, going on to week 11, starting at the quarterback position. I said to try pre-show, and this is something he's always been about, and I'm about it too. I'm just going to start by saying outside of one guy in the 6 to 7K range, I'm not paying up anywhere. I'm not doing it. If I lose because one of these guys explodes, fine. But what are you going to be doing at quarterback?
I'm going to be doing the same thing we always do, Pinky. Oh, yo,
are you calling yourself the brain? Is that what you're doing?
Listen, man. The shoe fits.
I feel you.
No. I'm paying down. Like, it's 11 weeks. I don't listen. We are 11 weeks in. NFL, it's short sample size. So what we got is what we're going to get as far as sample size. And we've been talking about this every single show. Don't pay up at quarterback. There is no reason to. There is no data. There is nothing in studying winning lineups to justify paying up at quarterback. There's just not.
I have to agree, man. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. There's really only one guy I have interest in up there. And you can probably guess
I have, though, like, what the hell is going on in Cincinnati?
So here's the thing. Flacco, from what I'm told, like, just got like a Veterans Day off. That's what I heard. They said he was going to throw today. He was limited today. He's going to play. He's going to play. Like, they have.
Oh, because like I'm saying, this is why I try and stay off like social media, especially sports media, social media. They're awful. Like, they're talking about Burrow coming back. I'm like, there's no way Joe Burrow is coming back this week.
No, he's coming back Thanksgiving slate.
Okay. Cool. Primetime Thanksgiving. All right. Get him a turducken leg. All right. I can understand that.
Me too. Side of mac and cheese on the side, watching Joe Cool throw some bombs. I'm in.
Okay. All right. So in that regard, Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh for what it's worth, but man, they just stink. Their defense stinks.
It does. But I do think, like, Joe Flacco can't move, and so TJ Watt does scare me a little bit of just him teeing off.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw this already once, though, too. And granted, it was a different circumstance. Maybe they weren't prepared for what Flacco was going to do. I agree. My biggest problem is I don't think Joe Flacco is going to be 4% owned come Sunday. He's like the quintessential. If he's going to be 4% owned, like, I want a lot of him. If he's not,
he might be 4% owned.
That's crazy, though. Like, it's insane.
So
he's got a four burger and a couple. He's got
people, like, you got to understand casual bias, and this is one of those things. Like, I would tell, like, our people watching, especially if you're a Paydirt sub, if you're in the Discord, we kind of get locked into an echo chamber sometimes with like-minded people. We're saying he should not be 4% owned, right?
Yep.
But you got to understand. I call it like the barbershop talk, right? Like, if I go to the barbershop, like, and what y'all talking about, right? Where are y'all at? What are y'all? Pittsburgh equals defense, equals run, equals slow. AFC North equals low score. Like, there's just all of these things, right? That's going to depress that ownership. Like, I buy that he's not going to be high owned.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And you said this is the second time they're playing?
Yeah, they played him on an island game, and he lit them up.
So that's the other thing. Oh, second divisional game, and it's their second time seeing all the things. Right?
Yeah.
The same reason, there were people last week saying, oh, you shouldn't play Arizona because it was their second time seeing Seattle. I don't care about that. Like, but I say that to say there's a lot of narratives that are going around that will absolutely depress that ownership. So I buy that. And then we just saw Chicago, like, the games they've been having, so they get a matchup in a dome versus Minnesota. JJ McCarthy is super cheap, like, who's not a bad play. Like, he's 5,200. He's absolutely in play.
He's very Jackson Dart-like too, like the way that they score points.
So,
except he's probably better coached and has better.
And on the other side, Caleb Williams. I do think the Vikings defense, especially when they're at home, and it gets loud and it gets rocking in there, they have a defense that they can feast on, like, sketchy quarterbacks.
Yeah, the only thing with that I'll say, and this is
unless Harrison Smith is out. If Harrison Smith is out, like, I'll load up on Caleb Williams because he's
So
kind of like he's the heartbeat of that defense.
I think I'm going to load up on pieces from that game. I don't know if I want to play Caleb just for the price because I think there's a lot of guys who could beat him, like point per dollar. But this is something I said in the Discord before the week 1 matchup where they played in Chicago. Ben Johnson has routinely sliced this defense of Brian Flores for the last 2.5-3 years. Did you know his first game this year? That was the first game in the last 5 meetings that he hasn't scored at least 30 points on Brian Flores.
That's
and
crazy.
It's insane. And now you look at Caleb's numbers. So I'm going to tell you what the Vikings are going to do. And if I'm wrong about this, I'll wear like something stupid on the show next week. But Brian Flores is known to be like this all-out blitzing guy. He plays a lot of cover 0. He sends the house at you, and he sits in like a big cover 4 shell. But Caleb Williams last year, his best performances were actually against the Vikings. Like, he didn't turn the ball over. He was very efficient. This year, week 1, they came out, didn't blitz him at all, and said, we're going to let you stand back there and throw it and try and beat us. And he had some success. And then he also was Caleb, right? Like, it was a mixed bag. I don't think they're going to be blitzing him a lot. We've seen them also do this a few other times this year. They didn't do it against him. They didn't do it against Jalen Hurts and they let Jalen Hurts throw all over them because they didn't want him to use his legs and scramble. And then they blitzed the shit out of Cleveland. They blitzed the shit out of Aaron Rodgers. They blitzed the shit out of Cincinnati. They blitzed the shit out of Justin Herbert. And then they blitzed the shit out of Goff. So the only 2 times they didn't do it were with the quarterbacks that could really kill them with their legs. So I like Caleb quite a bit to like have a, like, if you had to tell me, if you had to say, Jay, who's like the one guy in the 5 to 6K range who could probably get you 20, it's probably him. Do I think he can get me 30? Probably not. I don't think so. I think they'll be able to limit him more than that. But I think Ben Johnson's just too sharp of an offensive mind. And that's why I really, really like JJ McCarthy. I think Chicago's going to find a way to put up points here. And JJ McCarthy in that script, but he's also, massive chalk. He's 18% owned here. I see him as 25% owned on another site. So I think that's going to be everybody's pay down. But where else are you going to go if you're going to go cheap?
They refuse to price up Jacoby Brissett. He's still under 5K. If I'm going to get anywhere between 18 and 24 fantasy points from a quarterback under 5K, like you play it
every week. You'd play that every week.
Yep. So Sam Darnold, another guy they just refused to price up. So I don't mind going there against the Rams. This is very similar to what I was saying last week with the Rams and San Francisco game. Like, I don't get the NFC West, right? These teams, they put up points. Doesn't matter how the season's going. Doesn't matter if it's the second time they've seen somebody. Like, they put up points. Now, granted, one side might get smacked, like we saw the San Francisco side get smacked, but they still scored 22 points, right? The game total ended up being like it was 60-point game total at the end of the day.
Even when you look at Arizona too, Seattle did most of that damage.
I'm sorry, Seattle and Arizona. Yeah.
Oh, so no, they both got smacked though.
Yeah, it was Seattle and Arizona, and then Arizona got smacked, but it didn't matter. McBride still did McBride things. Jacoby Brissett was perfectly fine. JSN did JSN things. And then you also had the 49ers and Rams matchup. Juwan Jennings as chalk, like, still did his thing. Mac Jones his thing. If you watch the recap video that we did, like, in the 555 Millie Maker, right, with a ton of sharps, like, Mac Jones was the highest owned quarterback that showed up as far as exposure in top 1% of lineups.
Yep.
So, Kyron Williams showed up a ton. Puka Nacua, like, sharps were like way overweight on him.
Well, I think to your point too, and this is the whole point of you invest in good offenses, right? And you take pieces of good offenses. I agree. I like that game environment. I think everybody in it's like really fucking expensive. So like that's
I
that's
get
the
that.
drawback.
Yeah.
But I got a gross play. My puke play of the week is going to come from that game. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. But I will tell you, if this chalk is going to hold on Chase Brown and Jalen Warren, I'm probably going to have to roster Flacco, and I'm probably going to have to roster Aaron Rodgers before you kill me. Before you kill me. I just want to throw this out there. I think Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, is the perfect, if you are a 150 maxer, this is the perfect guy to go get 5 to 10% on and just rotate a different tight end with him, play him with just one pass catcher. That's it.
Yep.
He spreads it around so much. But you go that route, you can leverage the different chalk on, you can play him if you want to play him with Warren and try to get them all, sure. But you play him with Brown. And the one thing I like about that a lot, you could build out a Joe Flacco stack and then just play Aaron Rodgers in the same one, because you've seen Higgins and you've seen Chase get there. You've seen Chase and Fant get there. These guys have gotten there when Flacco was not the quarterback you needed. So there's different avenues there. I do like JJ McCarthy, as we said. Brissett I'm into. I'm going to tell you, though, I'm probably going to be living a lot in this 4,500 to about $4,700 range.
Are you looking at some of the same guys I'm looking at? Because there's two guys down here.
I love Jameis Winston. I'm all in on. Davis Mills. I'm all in on.
Yep.
And I'm definitely in on some Michael Penix.
Yeah.
I think Michael Penix. Let me just make this clear. I wrote this in one of my articles. I think he is like absolute fucking dog ass. Like I think I watch him play and I'm like, you are slower than molasses to get the ball out, but you have one of the best receiving tight ends in football in Kyle Pitts. You have, in my opinion, the most talented running back in football. I'm not saying he's like the best fantasy performer, but what Bijan does out of the backfield is just like so dynamic. And you have Drake London. If you had
just been crushing.
Bro, can you imagine if like Drake London and Kyle Pitts had like Matthew Stafford as their quarterback? Drake London would be an $8,500 receiver.
If
Kyle
you put Matthew Stafford on this exact same Atlanta offense, they're probably like top 4-ish.
Probably
the NFC.
Probably
to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
100%. And the thing with Carolina, man, is like I get Carolina's like the surprise darling this year, and everyone's like, oh, they're adjusted scheduled fantasy points against wide receivers. Like, shut the fuck up. Like you like stop it. Like I just watched Tyler Show throw all over you. Chris Olave going like 5 for 105 and a touchdown. But we're gonna sit
Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, Juwan Johnson too. 17-point fantasy game, Juwan Johnson. We're going to sit there and say that at home in a divisional matchup, like we just talked about, people are going to have this bias. We don't think the Atlanta team can we don't think the Falcons can like do anything now. That's what we're thinking. That's what we're saying. Like, I don't know, man. It's just too cheap. It's too cheap.
The other thing that I like about this, and I was actually looking back at this last week and just exploring this, and shout out to Gordy Lamb.
Sharp guy.
Man, and absolutely genuine friend of mine. But so he went all in on Jackson Dart, but he was talking about like, just rotating through some of the spend up options. So he basically rotated through like Achane, Gibbs, CMC, etc., right? And just living and dying with this stack. But it worked because the stack was so cheap. And so one of the things that I like with some of these quarterbacks, right, is you can get them, and all three of these guys, depending on Dalton Schultz, because he didn't practice today, right? But you can get them and their tight end super cheap, right? And you can essentially build like a cash lineup where you just rotate through some of these spend up options. And if you're willing to flag plant on that stack, or, if you're MME, if you're doing 20 max, 150, whatever, you say, I'm going to dedicate like this allocation to this stack and just rotate through, that stack, whatever. I really like the idea of that. So that might be something I'm messing around with. I might do, I don't know if I'd like true MMA, but like, some of the 20 max contests, just mess around with like locking in some of these cheaper stacks and then just building around those different combinations of what I can fit in with them.
I think that's the way to go. And even, with the contest analyzer, when I've been seeing this, and I know you definitely see this, every single week, like a top 1% lineup, like has a very cheap quarterback and a cheap pass catching option. I would much rather think of it this way. you need so much to go wrong and for it to go right to have your high price stack be the winner. Like you're asking for a lot to happen there. There's only a ton of downside, really. If I'm going to play like Matt Stafford, Puka, and somebody else in that game and bring it back with JSN, I better have like a crop of 3 to 4K guys that all go for 20 to 25 plus. Otherwise, I'm probably dead.
Yep.
And on top of that, if those guys go nuts, you still need your expensive guys to do their thing and be the highest scoring player at their position, as opposed to if I can get a quarterback that can go in 4 to 5x his salary, I can get a cheap tight end who can 5 to 6x his salary. Your upside is greater, and then you don't need superhero performances from these expensive guys. You just don't need it.
Yep.
So I'm with you. I'm going to be living in this realm here. Jameis Winston too. I will say if Darius Slayton doesn't play, I actually might like that a little less because he just really like opens up the field and stretches it for them.
Right.
Unless you want to play 3K Jalen Hyatt who can't separate. No, not at all. But Davis Mills, I'm going to go right back to. If you're telling me I can get him for 4,500, I can get Nico Collins, who they didn't raise his fucking price tag against the Titans after 15 targets, 115 and a touchdown.
That was insane.
It's stupid. So I could pay 12 grand for that. Like I'm gonna take that every day of the week. And if you do get Schultz out, you could always go to another cheap option. You might not even need to double it, but like Harrison Bryant is also questionable. They have this guy Lachey 2,500. If you don't even want to mess with that, that's fine. They get Kirk back. They get Higgins, Noel. It's like even just go Davis Mills and Nico Collins. Like leave it at that, and you're good, and just move on. But I'm glad we're in agreement there. The only one I am going to have 1 or 2 lineups of probably above 6K, it's Justin Herbert, and that's because his pass catching options are really cheap. Did you see Quentin Johnston's price?
Oh, it's like stupidly low, right?
5K. Yeah. 5K off a 10 target game. Keenan Allen at 53. If you want to do that, you can. McConkey's only 6,500. Gadsden's only 46. And now they get the Jaguars like in Jacksonville. Terrible pass defense, but they're a good enough offense where they'll be able to put up some points probably. I'm going to get that just because his cheap pass catching options can bring him along. So Eddie uses his legs a little bit more, but outside of that,
when we say Jacksonville's pass defense is bad, we mean bad. Like they are a bottom 3 like pass defense in the NFL.
I'm talking Vita Guerrera level ass, dude. Like they are horrendous. How you doing? I know, I get it, but yeah, it's bad. But yeah, outside of that, nobody above 6K for me. You bozos want to play Josh Allen? Be my guest. I'm not doing it. Mahomes, not doing it. Any other thoughts before we go to running back?
Now we can shift over to running back.
Okay, so at the running back spot, so I have this sorted by salary here. We have another week where Christian McCaffrey's 9K, obviously in a better spot here against Arizona. I'm leaning more towards not outright fading him, but like I'll play him in spots where maybe I think I don't need like a tremendous ceiling, and if he gets 25, like I'm good. But he's probably gonna be more of like a late swap candidate for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Bijan, I'm not going to touch. Josh Jacobs, in this spot against the Giants, I think you have to consider. But again, I'm going to be living in this like Warren, Dowdle, Kyron, even, if you want to play Vidal, you can. But I'm going to be living in like the mid fives to about, mid sixes range. I'm going to pick one of them and then probably one of, Josh Jacobs, James Cook. That's probably what I'm going to do. And I got some disgusting cheap plays I like. But what do you think of running back?
So I don't know. We're slightly divergent this week. I actually don't mind the 3 top price guys in Bijan, McCaffrey, and Josh Jacobs. It's probably one of these spots where like I rotate through those guys. But first and foremost, I'm looking at who are cheap guys who project for at least 15 fantasy points. That's always where I'm starting with that running back, right? And shout out to you. You've been calling for this guy. all season long. It looks like it's finally going to be RJ Harvey time.
That's my guy right there. That's my guy. He's a
He
Denver
is going
Bronco
to
fan.
be incredibly low owned. Because you have Chase Brown and Jalen Warren, near enough in price that they're projected to be the chalk. And the thing about Harvey, and you called this out pre-show, like he gets passing work, like he gets targets out of the backfield. So to a certain extent, that makes him a bit more game script independent. So you don't need to worry about like, well, what if the Chiefs beat the brakes off of the Broncos? Not too worried about that. I don't think.
I actually
So I don't mind.
prefer that if that happens.
Yeah,
I prefer that.
Right, because the thing is, like, if that happens, even if he gets 4 catches, right, out of the backfield, I don't even care necessarily like what the yardage is on that, because 4 catches out of the backfield is equivalent to him rushing for 40 yards.
It just raises his floor tremendously.
Right.
And if they're going to play a ton of man-to-man defense, I mean, the Chiefs they play a lot of man, and then they don't play a lot of man, and they do play a lot of man. I think this is a spot where they're going to see a lot of it. Like outside of Cortland Sutton, I don't think they're afraid of any of our receivers. I say our like I'm part of the fucking team. I'm not. I'm just a fan. But I do like this spot a lot for him, man. You're definitely. I'm glad you agree. I hope that ownership still stays sub 10%, because I'm probably going to play a lot of him. And if we get Nick Chubb out, I'm going to play a lot of Woody Marks too. But the Woody Marks is my other guy, like super cheap, that I'm going to look at. He's starting to get a lot of the work now from Chubb. The spot against Tennessee. This is just one of those situations that I don't think the projections have accounted for yet, with him really taking that forward leap. And this is more of like I don't want to call it like an I know ball take, because it's not that, but like Nick Chubb, 17 carries week 8, week 9, 11, week 10, 5. And sure, you want to say the game script was out of hand, but that's fine. Woody Marks, has been steady 10, 11, 10, 14, and he's getting 3, 4, 5, 3 targets out of the backfield. So, in a spot where they're favored, I do kind of like him. I think Chubb's going to play though, sadly, so I'll be very limited. But that's like my Millie Maker running back play of the week, I'd say.
One other guy I don't mind down here is DeAndre Swift. We kind of wondered after that performance from Monanga, like what was the split going to look like? Were they going to ride the hot hand? And not really. Right. Not really. Monanga got 7 carries and 1 target out of the backfield. DeAndre Swift, I think 13 carries and 5 targets.
Yep.
Something like that. So, it is to a certain extent a split backfield. Like you're not going to get like 20 carries from DeAndre Swift, I don't think. But at 5,800, he's cheap enough where 13 to 15 carries, and if he's going to get that type of passing work volume out of the backfield, he can still pay off that salary.
100%. And back to the other scheme note here. And again, this is for people that are bored by this. I don't care, because I was right about it week 1, so I'm going to fucking say it again. I also put in the Discord back then that the big way that Ben Johnson has sliced this defense is he used Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield pretty extensively. The only time he really didn't was when I think it was like week 17, and like all the starters only played a half of football. Outside of that, like I think he had minimum like 5, 6 targets each of those games.
5 targets. Yeah.
And DeAndre Swift had 5 week 1. I'm with you. I kind of like this spot a lot. I don't like that he's below 15 fantasy points, but maybe I'm just being a nit because he's like on the borderline right there.
He's 14.9. Like,
yeah, we'll take it. But where else are you going to? You think that's what you're probably going to live with, like a low 6 to high 5, and then one of the spend ups?
Yeah, like I'm probably not dropping below RJ Harvey.
I respect that. I'm curious to see how ownership changes, because one of the spots too, Bijan, you talked about, Carolina like has the notion of a very good run defense. That's what people think. The last 4 weeks or so, they've given up more than 100 yards on the ground like every single time. So, yeah, maybe I got to take a little bit more of a deeper look at him. I think he's like awkwardly priced a little bit, but I get what you're saying, and I tend to agree. All right, any other thoughts before we go to wide receiver?
Nah.
All right, so wide receiver.
Don't play Jaylen Warren chalk. That's my other thought.
Oh, don't play Jaylen Warren chalk?
No.
Against Cincinnati, though, we just saw what Monangai did to them.
Monangai is better than Jaylen Warren, and
I don't know, man.
If you think that's a hot take, I'll argue with your mother.
Can I tell you one thing though?
Yeah.
Last time he played Cincinnati, 16 carries, usual workload, 5 targets. I know back and forth, he's probably not going to get the targets. He went for 127, and he didn't score. So at that price tag, 6,100, if he goes for 100 and a touchdown, it's kind of hard to see how he doesn't get there unless he like stops at 100 on a dime and doesn't catch a touchdown or doesn't run one in. So like, just throw that out there.
It's more about his ownership. Like if he legitimately is going to be like 25 to 30% owned, even if he gets there, I don't think there's not another guy in his price range who can't also get there.
That's fair. That's totally fair. Okay, that makes sense. Going to wide receiver now, have it sorted by salary. I never thought we'd see a day where like JSN is more expensive than Puka Nacua, Jamar Chase, and Rashee Rice and Justin Jefferson, like on the same slate. That's pretty crazy. My first initial thought is like, yeah, everybody's going to play Jamar Chase, and I kind of don't disagree with that. I think he's probably my favorite in the 8K range. But this is a very weird wide receiver week because you could make a case to play any of these guys. So, what do you do in a wide receiver?
Similar to what I was saying about the spend up running backs, the spend up receivers. And by spend up receivers, I mean like the actual 8K guys. I'm not including like the 7K guys in this, but like probably just rotating through them, to be honest. Damn, Chase is going to be chalked. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, against Pittsburgh, man, 8,500, and with the target volume, it's like hard to argue. We have him as, I think we have him as the most likely. We have him at the most likely. He's the most likely receiver to go 4x his salary, and he's 8,500.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. That's just stupid.
I'm still gonna play him, but I'm gonna be mad about it. I'm gonna be mad about the ownership, anyways. But don't mind JSN being the lowest owned of these. Seems silly in my opinion. I get that he's 8,900, but I have no problems going right back to him. Justin Jefferson, we like McCarthy, but I
just don't think McCarthy can support like a pass catcher of his price tag.
Yeah, like we know obviously like from a talent perspective, he absolutely has the same type of ceiling as these guys, right? I just don't trust his quarterback to be able to do it. Like Flacco will throw the ball 45 times and feed Jamar Chase with like anywhere from 10 to what was it, 16 targets?
I think he had like 19 or something stupid like that.
Right?
He had, so his last game against Chicago, it says 0 targets on Draftkings. Like it's probably so high. They're like, we got to stop counting for this fucking guy. We can't do that. I'll get a number on it. But before that, against the Jets, he had 19, and his last game against Pittsburgh, 23 targets.
Yeah, that's right. Puka, Stafford, is gonna air that. He'll air it out. They're gonna find ways to get Puka the ball. Same thing with JSN. Like they're getting him the ball constantly. So I just have more confidence in those guys getting the volume needed to support their price tags. And I'll say not just in terms of the volume, because Justin Jefferson does still get a lot of those targets, But I think the difference, and this kind of just comes from me watching some of these games, right, is he's getting targets, but they're not really catchable. They're like, we got to get him involved and give him looks and make him feel like he's involved. But there really wasn't a chance he was going to, like, it's like the deep shots, he's double covered. There's a safety over the top, and the corner's like right on his hip. Like, he
A lot of
wasn't,
line of scrimmage targets for him.
yeah. And just, stuff where it's like, it's not valuable, in my opinion. Like, it's either something where he's going to get it and immediately get hit, or, it's just we're throwing this up to make him, make it seem like we're trying to get him involved.
To
Right.
your point, too, to your point, because I want everybody to understand what you're saying. Do you know that over his last 1, 2, 3, 4, over his last 5 games, did you know that he only has 2 catches more than 20 yards?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
He
And
only has
look at
two
how many
catches.
targets he's getting in those games.
It's insane. Yeah, and the last he had a 64-yarder against Detroit in garbage time when they were trying to play catch up, and he had a 36-yarder against Chicago. But even in that game against Pittsburgh, when he went 16, 161, and 1, his longest catch was 18 yards. So you're relying on some supreme volume against a team that has already seen him once this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of like him. Now that I'm thinking it through, you know what I think the play is? And I want to know your opinion. Yeah, you got to spend up at running back in tournaments and leverage this a little bit. Like you can't. Like I don't think I even want to pivot to another expensive receiver as much as I want to go play Bijan Robinson or Christian McCaffrey or Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, like if we're gonna get Josh Jacobs and Bijan like sub 20%, like sub 15%, and you're gonna get Puka, Chase both above 20, Drake London around 20, Jackson Smith and Jigba around 17 to 18%. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Where I think I'm going to be living a lot in the wide receivers this week, and I love that there's no ownership on them, dude. Everything from like Drake London down to T Higgins, like I'm just a massive fan of this week.
Yep.
Like even Roma Dunze, like I just don't think that's accurate for what his ceiling is here. And I get that Caleb's been kind of bad at delivering the ball, but they also had a ton of drops last week. He bounced back in a big way, and he had 2 drops and Caleb missed him on one. Odunze was 2 catches away from like a 7 and like 130 day. So I do like that. Zay Flowers, I'm not going to touch. Lad McConkey, I against Jacksonville, I'll play that any day of the week. But dude, like you're gonna tell me Igbuka and Nico Collins are this low owned at like no salary increase from last week?
Right.
Really?
What are we doing?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm perplexed, as the kids like to say. I think that's the word I'm looking for. I'm perplexed.
Do we know is Ricky Pearsall supposed to be back this week?
He's playing, and Brock Purdy's back too.
Fudge. Never mind.
I know. Kind of a bad move by them. I get Brock Purdy's like your franchise guy, but Mac Jones has like kept that offense afloat.
Yeah, not too many cheap guys that. I mean, other than our boy Quentin Johnston, who you mentioned at 5K. I don't know.
Yeah, this is like a very weird week where I feel like the mid-range wide receivers all are kind of S, and there's not really anything that's like sticking out to me. Like Wandale, I guess maybe gets a bump with Jameis, but like he's like chasing that his targets suck. Oh, did Tribe freeze? Oh, did I lose Tribe? Oh man, hold on. Where's Tribe? Damn. All right, looks like we're gonna go solo on this. Maybe he'll get back in. We'll resend him the invite. But yeah, I kind of think that this is pretty this range here. Like if you're gonna stack, fine. Addison, I do like a little bit just in this spot from a scheme perspective. So I definitely will probably have some of him. Let me see if I can get Tribe back in here. While we're going down, DJ Moore, fine, but not really. Parker Washington, everybody back. I'm probably good on that. Quentin Johnson, love that in a stack with Herbert. And I believe he's back. Tribe, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. That was weird.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm just glad you're okay. That's all I'm
Yeah,
concerned with. But no, I didn't really
you know,
say anything else new
Tommy
outside
G.
of
Maybe that's what knocked my internet out.
Yeah, so this is actually like a deep fake of Tribes. That's what's happening right now. So it's not really him. But I was just saying, like, I think this like mid tier range is bad outside of if you're going to pair it with a stack. Like, there's nobody here I would grab as a one off. The only one that kind of interested me a little bit was I was saying before, it was Jordan Addison, just because of this spot. Like, conventional wisdom would tell you that the Bears are going to try to like take something away. I kind of like
They've been
Addison.
feeding Jordan Addison too.
Big time, man. Him and Naylor in that like deep ball role. And Addison's has had, let's see, Addison had 11 targets last week. Like he had 11 targets last week.
God damn, like what the hell is happening? Like him and Jefferson got a ton of targets and like nothing happened.
I don't know. It's weird, right?
That is weird.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That actually makes me kind of want to just straight up fade JJ McCarthy if he's going to be chalk.
If he's going to be chalk, I get it. But at the same time, I'm also sitting there saying to myself, if he's going to be that chalky, like how do you leverage it? And if I'm seeing Jordan Addison is going to be sub 10%, maybe that's how you do it. But I kind of like it a lot from a stacking perspective. That's all I'm gonna really.
I mean, it's definitely affordable. I'm just looking like, yo, who?
Like Wandale, like when you froze, I said Wandale, but his targets like Jamar Chase's, they suck. Like they're at the line of scrimmage, and
it's all like this little. It's all like weird bubble screens and like short dig routes. It's
if Slayton can't go though, like with Jameis, do they like maybe send him deep? I mean, the OC is their new head coach now.
Maybe I was just gonna say like the coaching change is interesting.
It is, and not to mention, they asked the defense Kafka. They're like, "Oh, what's his personality like?" And they're like, I don't even know if he has one. And I'm like, motherfucker means business, or you could take it as he stinks. So I don't know, but what is your take as a Giants fan?
I am cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic. That's not what I wanted to hear, but I'll take it. If you're cautiously optimistic, that's fine. We're going to play Jameis. We're going to win all the money, right? That's that what that means?
Yes.
Love it. Okay. Outside of that, yeah, QJ, I said in the stack I'm into. As you go lower, this whole range is just, it's gross, man. Like it's like Michael Wilson maybe without MHJ gets a bump, but I don't feel good about anybody really down here. Christian Watson in this spot, sure, if you want to go there. I mean, Giants play a lot of men, so if you want to take Dontavian Wicks, I'm into that. But I don't know, man. Are you even going to dumpster dive at all, wide receiver?
I don't know. And I'm not dumpster diving on a full slate with some of these Green Bay options with how their offenses look. The only guys who could convince me to dumpster dive with, if Dalton Schultz gets ruled out, I don't mind looking at some of these cheap receivers from Houston, like Jaden Higgins or Jalen Noel, or Christian Kirk for that matter. But
I don't hate that.
I mean, outside of that, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm
good. Actually, you know who's one guy that I will mention? Jerry Jeudy. That would be the one guy I would have some interest in.
One of the better matchups he's going to have seen as late, and you saw what happened against the Jets with weak outside corners. That shout out. Only other guy I may throw in here is my guy. I've been on this guy for a long time. Is my guy Chimere DK. Especially if Calvin Ridley's still out this week. He's been practicing, but he's been limited. If he's out, I kind of like it because Houston's going to put up points some way here. So, but yeah, I'm probably not dumpster diving anywhere. I think this is just a really gross range. I'd rather play a tight end. But any thoughts before we go to a tight end?
Don't force value this week at receiver.
Yeah, it's too gross. It's too gross. And it's not like when you get a backup running back stepping in or you get a backup center in NBA who is going to play 30 to 35 minutes. This is not that. These guys are backups for a reason. All right, tight end now. I mean, it's really just like play Trey McBride or don't play Trey McBride at this point. You know, we have him projected better than any receiver by a country mile. What are you going to do at tight end? I mean, I know you're going to play Trey McBride, but like how much and what are you going to do?
I mean, similar to last week, I'm probably looking at double tight end builds again this week. My boy Juwan Johnson is not on the slate. Unfortunately, the Saints are on a bye.
That is your boy. That is your boy.
Listen, he's what actually is what saved my lineups last week, to be honest. Because for some reason Hunter Henry was chalk.
That's fair.
There's not a whole like Dalton Schultz if he plays, I'm with it. Kyle Pitts at 4K flat. Theo Johnson. We talked about this right with the quarterbacks. Like I'm just stacking some of these cheaper quarterbacks with their tight ends. I don't hate that. The Mark Andrews special, man. He's going to catch a touchdown, and that's about it.
I don't know, man. Against this man-to-man coverage, I don't know if old man Andrews can get open. But I'm with you.
But like that's like if you like understand, like that's what you're getting, right? You're getting like less than 10 yards, but it's a touchdown.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's gonna be Mercedes Lewis in like 2 to 3 years. He's just gonna post people up in the end zone and throw it up to him and hope he catches it.
Right. Oh boy, it's gross, man. I mean, if Harold Fannin Jr. can't go for Cleveland, I don't mind some Njoku at 3,300. The Pittsburgh guys, oh Jesus, only if I'm playing Aaron Rodgers. Cheap one-off tight ends. It's probably Njoku, Schultz if he plays.
What about Theo Johnson, like as a one-off with Jameis?
I don't mind Theo Johnson. That's probably the other one. I'm looking at our guy from the Bears. Now, granted, I don't think he goes like another 100-yard, 2-touchdown game. But, you know, he did still have 4 targets for 55 yards last game. They are trying to get him involved. I do think he's the more talented receiver as far as the tight end position for the Bears between him and Kmet. So I don't hate that. But either way, yeah, it's paying down here and playing Kelsey because you're comparing Kelsey again in the flex spot to the other guys in his range. Which if I look at that, where do we have him at? If I sort by salary, we got Trey McBride. He's blowing these other guys out the water.
Yeah, he is, and he's also just a supreme value. I think Cade Otton makes a lot of sense, and it's weird. I'm not going to play a Baker stack just because I think Baker's too expensive. But this
Baker stack won the Millie last week.
Yeah, I get it.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, it won the Millie, but if you would have played, you could have played that similar lineup and not played Baker Mayfield. It won, but you didn't need to do that to win. But no, I get it. I like Cade Otton a lot here. I think Buffalo's defense is just trash. Oh, wait, Fields? Oh, my God. Fields just threw a touchdown to John Mechie. Fuck. God
damn. All right. Did not have that on my bingo card, but here we are.
Me too. I'm hoping that's his only catch till he starts feeding A.D. Mitchell like the alpha dog he is. That's all I'm hoping. He did just throw another one across the middle. Did he catch it? No. Are we going to talk about that? No, it's okay. But no, I'm with you. I kind of like everybody in this 4K and up range, and I even sort of like Kelsey, just because Denver without Sertan has been running a lot more zone coverage.
Is he
So,
still out?
yeah, I think he's going to be out. He hasn't practiced yet this week. I think
Okay.
we have a bye next week, so I think they're going to hold him out.
Mhm.
But yeah, Dalton Schultz, if he's in, I'll play him, but I don't know. Yeah, I think he's not going to play. Loveland, I think, is fine in a stack. Andrews, yeah, not doing it. I'm okay with, like, if I'm going to really punt. You ready for the Jason's Puke play of the week?
Oh God.
All right, you're gonna have to follow me on this. Follow me down the yellow
Okay.
brick road. Mr. AJ Barner is who
Oh, that's not terrible. I don't hate that.
I'm glad you don't hate it, because in that game, I think one of the cheap tight ends in that game could be a difference maker, because it gets you access to these high powered offenses, these high powered spots. And also, when you look at what both teams run, so the Rams are very much like a middle field open sort of team. They'll mix in it's similar to, here's how I'll describe it. If you're a basketball head, when teams play a matchup zone, where they play a zone, but they kind of like bounce guys off to each other. And like, then they take a man in their zone and then pass them off to one another. The Seahawks also play a ton of zone coverage, but their zone coverage is more like a heavy shell, and they like to keep the ball in front of you. So you watch guys like Trey McBride have a lot of success. The game prior against Washington, Ertz was open more than probably any other receiver on Washington. That's just really what they do. And with him and Arroyo lines up in the slot and lines up a lot. They'll line him up outside. Barner's really an inline guy. I just think if they do try to take away JSN, I think he's going to be open very, very often. So that's what I'm basing it on. And conversely, the tight end matchup for LA going against Seattle is also elite for the same reason. So I think if you're going to go cheap and dumpster dive, I'd rather take a shot on one of these: Barner, Higbee, Arroyo, or Parkinson, Ferguson. I'd rather you take a shot on somebody here than like a 3K wide receiver. I'm not
Oh,
advising that.
100%. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not advising it, but just throwing it out there. But you have any other tight end thoughts before we go to Sims?
Nah, I think you summed that up pretty well. Yeah, you're just looking for, like, if you can. The joke is like 5 for 50 and a touchdown for tight end. With these dumpster dive tight end, it's like, if I get 2 for 25 with a touchdown.
Yeah,
we'll take it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's you got to take the points when you can here, I suppose.
Yeah.
And yeah,
The real question is, which defense is going to score 2 touchdowns?
Oh, well, step into my office. Why don't you?
We're joking. We're not going over defense. Defense
No.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, if it's funny, before we get to Sims, one of my best friends in the entire world, I own a co season long team. We co-own a team. He's one of my best friends. We're in our high school league with our friends that we've known for 15, 20 years almost. And I deserve like a management fee, because all he wants to do is like ask me about his other leagues, but not, ours really. He lets me make most of the decisions. And every day he's like, so what defense am I taking? I was like, oh, don't pick one. He's like, don't worry about it. I'm like, don't worry about it. He's like, what do you mean? He goes, I never get the defense right. I was like, yeah, you fucking moron. You missed on the Tennessee Titans double touchdown scoring performance against the Chargers. Idiot. How'd you miss that? And he's like, oh yeah, I get it. Don't worry about defense. It's so random. It's so volatile. But I will say, don't play a chalky, expensive defense ever. Don't ever do that. Just throwing that out there. Looking at Sims, Justin Herbert makes sense. Brissett, there's our guy. McCarthy, Rodgers. Like, then we have a Lamar sighting. Don't really love that. Lowest exposed: Cam Ward, Dylan Gabriel, Baker Mayfield. Highest edge for quarterback is Herbert, Allen, Trevor Lawrence, and Jameis. Lowest edge is Lamar, Stafford, and McCarthy. So you might be onto something with the McCarthy fade in small field. That makes sense. Running back, Rico Dowdle. I'm so mad he's going to be owned, but I do like him in the spot. RJ Harvey, if he's that, I might click the old lock button on him if he's going to be that low owned.
Hey, there we go.
Oh wait, Drake May deep throw to nobody. Okay, crazy. Chase Brown though, yeah, good call there. Jalen Warren. If these ownerships are correct, you're right. Jalen Warren is a pretty sick fade. I probably will still not fade him, but in spots. But I'll take that as like my very bad edge in the Sims. Highest edge is Harvey, Dowdle, Etienne, Tracy, and Hunt. Lowest edge it goes to Warren, McCaffrey, Zonovan, Bam Knight. If you play Zonovan, Bam Knight, you
Oof, he's
need.
playing Bam Knight. You sickos.
I don't know. I will say I did captain him on a showdown slate the other day against the Cowboys. I'm not too proud of that, but that's okay. That's all right. Sharks needed it.
Should have
And then
took
there's
that to the
Josh
grave,
Jacobs.
bro.
I know. I know. Sad move by me. You have Josh Jacobs at the wide receiver spot. Look at this for Jamar Chase. I don't even need to
Good.
click who's like the highest edge wide receivers. This is telling you stack Flacco. That's what that's telling you.
Yeah.
Chase, Higgins, Shakir, Wandale. So some of the guys we mentioned, Wicks, Michael Wilson, Dortch. So yeah, they're basically saying like take one high owned guy, high price guy. Puka worst edge, Jefferson worst edge, JSN worst edge, Rashee Rice worst edge. That's crazy. And finally, at tight end, Kate Otten. No surprise there. Trey McBride, slight negative edge, but he shows up a ton. Mark Andrews, there's your boy. Touchdown Mark. Gotta love it. Highest edge is Otten and Andrews than everybody else. Lowest edge is Trey McBride, George Kittle, and Jonnu Smith. So in the flex, all the tight ends. A lot of tight ends in flex. That makes a lot of sense. If you could fit a running back, do it, but really it's tight end season. It's double tight end. So what do you want to leave the people with, Tribe, as we head into week 11?
I think this is a slate that doesn't have a lot of clear cut value, so don't force fragile, volatile value plays in order to fit some of these stud guys. Don't be afraid to pivot off of volatile chalk, but at the same time, like if Jamar Chase is going to be chalk, but he projects well, he was still the highest edge. Play it and find ways to get different. If we said like Joe Flacco, if he's gonna be sub 10%, sub 5% owned, that's crazy. Like that's how you get different. Like you just play the full Cincinnati stack. Higgins is going to be owned like that, so that's how you can kind of offset the ownership of just Jamar Chase as opposed to playing him as a one-off there. So just be mindful of how you're building your lineups this week. And yeah, let's get the monies.
I like it. I like it. What I'm going to tell everybody is find your cheap stack and build in the best value around it. Like that's what I'm going to say. You go get Jamar Chase, go get Bijan, go get McCaffrey, go get, Nico Collins. Like take your low priced and low owned stack, fill it in with tremendous values at their salary. I think this could be a good week. But everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jason. This is Tribe. We'll see you next week. Let's go get some trophies.
Peace.
Peace.